face was turning blue because of the altitude, but he refused to get off his bike. He kept pedaling. He was pushing against all odds. That, his friend Amber said later, is Elon Musk. Do or die, but there is no quit. He's either going to succeed or he's going to die trying. Friends, today we're going to quick talk about Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, and the quest for a fantastic future. I'm John. I'm at Starbucks right now. You can probably hear the background music. We'll just pretend it's good. I'm in Springfield, Missouri. I'm on my way back from Bartlesville, back to Michigan. So got to do this book review on the fly. I actually listened to it on audiobook, so I don't have a copy of it with me. But I encourage you to go check it out. We're going to quick cover the history of Elon Musk, where he's from, some of his earlier ventures, his current vision for his two main companies, Tesla and SpaceX, and then jump into a bit of controversy about him as a leader and as a person. And we'll wrap up with an invitation for you to go check out the book yourself. But where is Elon Musk from? He was born in South Africa and emigrated to Canada and the United States later on. Has a master's degree from the University of Pennsylvania and was actually accepted at Stanford. And he had a tough childhood. Growing up in South Africa, his father was a very brutal man. Elon was more of a withdrawn child, always reading, loved to read, and always programming. He actually program designed his first video game at, I think, 12 it was. And it's crazy because he had such a tough childhood. He was bullied all through school and just had to deal with all that stuff as he went through his experiences. But he points to some of those things as shaping his psyche and the hardships that he had later on because he knew he could overcome. Zig Ziglar, in his book Over the Top, says that out of the world-class leaders, the top 300, 10%, or yeah, it was about 10%, 25% had a major physical disability. We're talking people like Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Winston Churchill, and another 50% were actually raised in poverty. That's crazy. And Elon Musk goes right along with that trend. He moved to Canada, came to the United States, and was just enamored by the technology scene in California, and was able to start a company called Zip2 early on in his career, which he eventually sold for something around $22 million. He bought a McLaren, lived the high life for a little bit, and moved on to start X.com, which merged with PayPal and was eventually sold to eBay for nearly $1 billion. And currently, he parlayed that into, in early 2005, 2006, 2007, he started Tesla and SpaceX along with that. Jumped into it with 2008 with Tesla, and when the downturn in the economy happened there, he was actually down to his last $100,000 to his name. He had sold to eBay, PayPal, he had sold PayPal to eBay for nearly $1.5 billion, him and a couple other founders. And they had so much money, they didn't know what to do with it. He went and started SpaceX and Tesla and just really had to sink all of his chips into that one basket. It got to the point where his friend Gracias, who was an investor in Tesla and SpaceX, said at 2008, here was a man who was almost entirely broken. But at that point, his character showed through to say that he believed so much in his companies that he was willing to put everything on the line and to come to really to the last 2 weeks of 2008. And they had to raise $44 million just to keep the doors open. And they did, and we see where things are at today. So we've covered a little bit of the history. Let's talk about the vision of where the two companies, SpaceX and Tesla, are going, and then we'll continue on to a little bit of controversy as well. So SpaceX currently has a contract with the United States government, it's the first privately owned company, first non-governmental entity to deliver cargo to the space station. I'm not entirely sure if they're going to deliver astronauts to the space station. I don't think so, because they don't have that technology yet, but they're working on a plan to get to Mars. I mentioned a minute ago, Elon's life is a life that can be defined by having a singular vision above everything else. And that vision is that human beings need to be a multiplanetary species. That's just ridiculous. Who else has thought, well, I think we should all be a multiplanetary species? My guess is not many of us. But Elon Musk, his companies all kind of go towards that degree. Now Tesla, as well as a car company designed to increase the world's transition to sustainable transportation. And they've actually made ownership of a Tesla kind of into a lifestyle, a little bit like Apple has done with the iPhones. If you own an iPhone or a MacBook or something like that, there's other conceptions that probably come with it. You're probably at Starbucks, often you have community, you see somebody else with a Apple laptop and you're like, I know you. The same thing Musk has done for Tesla. People that own Roadsters, Model S's, Model X's, and the upcoming Model 3 can buy into that idea of saving the planet while still having a hip car. And you can kind of think of a Tesla, if you don't know, as the mashup between an iPhone and a car. They come together where a car that doesn't turn on, it's all battery powered, entirely electric, gets software updates from the cloud. It's pretty cool. So all of this sounds great, makes sense. I can buy into the vision, but there's some controversy surrounding the person of Elon Musk, and especially his business practices as well. Now, Tesla, for all of its hype, it's not actually making a profit. CNN Money reported earlier this year in May that for all of the orders, they have like 80,000 or 90,000 orders for Tesla Model 3s and Model S's. They haven't actually posted a profit recently, or ever, really. And they are in a point where they have to finish the factory, and if they don't, the entire company is going to go under. The Gigafactory, as Elon Musk calls it, is going to be the biggest building in the entire world. Pretty crazy. He's outstripping some of GM and the old Ford factories that are not functioning at full capacity. And he has a huge vision, man, and if he can take it, I would say we can get on board with that. But currently, they're not making a profit. Now, the other thing is Elon Musk's personality, being so committed to a specific vision, he has made some enemies over the years. A former employee of Tesla has said that the employees like to be around him, but they are fearful because at any point he can turn and let someone go seemingly without any sort of human connection. The analogy that they used is Elon treats people like ammunition, to be used up, to be spent, and to be deployed for the company's goals and aims. And he's also kind of had some difficulty. He's had, I think, 3 divorces now, 2 different wives. He got remarried once. He has 5 children with his first wife. And in that situation, you definitely don't want to emulate that aspect of his personal life. So we've covered the history of where he's come from, how he grew up in poverty, well, not poverty, but very much hardship and bullying, how he moved to the United States and has such a huge, huge vision that just absolutely encompasses all of his actions with Tesla and SpaceX. And we talked a little bit about the controversy. I mean, Tesla's not making money. You can't necessarily emulate his character in some capacities, and he doesn't necessarily treat people as people to be valued, more as ammunition to be spent. So I definitely encourage you to go check out the book. It's a fantastic read for someone who's interested in being a massive world changer, but I don't recommend that you go out and live your life exactly like Elon Musk has. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Go check out Why Should I Read That on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, go subscribe, all that stuff. I love it. And not just for me, too. You'll be able to continue to getting content. Hopefully it's a win-win for you guys. I'll catch you next week for episode 25, I think. Anyway, all right. We'll see you later. I'm going to continue my road trip.